Hello and welcome to the introductory video to Introduction to Philosophy, Class 4, Summer 2024 edition. So in terms of the stuff for this class, and again, you can do the class at your own pace, as long as you pace it so you finish before the end. So we're on Class 4, and the content for this class is our good dead friend, Socrates. So we've got Socrates' metaphysics and social and political philosophy. Socrates himself, as you'll see in the Apology, does seem to sometimes think there's a soul, but maybe not. Maybe it's immortal, maybe it just perishes. Also, from terms of his social and political philosophy, this helps explains why when he goes on trial in the Apology, why he goes and doesn't, take off. And we don't look at the dialogue that follows the Apology, the Crito, but in the Crito, after he's found guilty, sorry, I should have said spoilers, and sentenced to death, also spoilers, he has his friends show up and his friends offer to bust him out, and he refuses. And the explanation essentially is that he believes that he should stick to his agreements, essentially a form of social contract theory. And then you get into the actual Apology. We talk a bit about Plato, teacher of Socrates, student of Socrates, teacher of Aristotle, dead, and still dead today. And the Apology is a transcript of the trial of Socrates. And if you've read it, you may wonder why they call it the Apology, because he is definitely not apologizing. And this is because the Apologia, translation would be better of the defense of Socrates, as opposed to his actual, apology in the modern sense. And his arguments include, in the part we're concerned with, which is the charge of corrupting the youth, include the horse trainer analogy, where he talks about the youth and the horses, and the unintentional argument. So the trial is about, this part is about his accusation on the part of Meletus about Socrates being a corrupter of the youth. And the horse trainer analogy, he changes the charge, gets Meletus to change the charge to Socrates is the soul, the only corrupter, and the unintentional argument, he gets Meletus to change the charge to is the intentional corrupter. And he uses these to try to refute those charges, which is the topic of the paper for the course. He also has a religious charge against him, and he manipulates Meletus into changing the charge again. He gets Meletus to claim that Socrates is an atheist, but also that Socrates believes in demigods and heroes, and Socrates argues that since demigods are the children of gods, he cannot be an atheist, because if you believe in demigods, you have to believe in gods. Then he talks a bit about wisdom and why death is nothing to fear. Again, his reasoning, I sort of alluded to, is that perhaps the soul exists forever in a good place. Basically imagine kind of a heaven-like place. Or if you die, you cease to exist, and that's it. And you can't fear if you don't exist. And he presents himself as the gadfly towards the horse of the state, kind of nibbling at it. Not sure why I did that, but kind of biting it and, stirring it up. And then finally, of course, he's sentenced to death, and he makes a prophecy, which of course comes true because Plato is writing this in hindsight. So the main thing is, for class 4, Socrates. And then, of course, he ends up dying. There's no work assigned to this particular class, no quiz, etc. So there's just this stuff. So that's the content stuff. Now, as I keep noting the announcements over and over, and I promise I will stop at some point, and that point is when either everybody's attending, or in 3 weeks where I just, hopefully whatever was attending. But I'll keep doing this until everyone is attending or everyone is not attending. And so, as I mentioned before, the importance of attendance is, first, of course, is for federal financial aid. You presumably get to show up to the class, get marked as attending, to have that federal money released. And the second one, as I mentioned before, is at the end, if someone gets a failing grade, it's a distinction between a W, F, and F in terms of when the person last attended. Probably the best way to get marked as attending is take that STARS pre-survey, because it's pretty short, it's guaranteed 100% if you complete it, and there's no wrong answers, and turn it in. And then I check the grades every day to see if something's been done, and then I go to the attendance thing and mark people down as attending. I won't mark people down as not attending until I guess the end, or I get an email saying, gotta mark people as not attending. Okay, so that's the stuff for class 4. So have a good day or night, depending on what time you're seeing this, and stay safe, and see you in the future.